Initiating broadcast signal in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I am the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, it's all about the...
Booyah, what's up? It's your boy Joe, baby.
And to my other right, coming straight out of Viltrum, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
The name's Gambit. Remember it.
You know, I did remember the name Gambit, and I was like, where have I heard that name before? You know? And I've been waiting for this for a long, long time. So, as you can tell, we're going to be talking about Invincible, but before we get into talking about Invincible, I just want to say, if you could like, subscribe, maybe share with your friends, that would be awesome. At some point, there may be like pointing right there where there's like a little sign that says like and subscribe. I don't know. But I've noticed listening to other podcasts and stuff, everyone goes at the start of the podcast, like and subscribe to hear more. And we never do that. So now that I've gotten the unashamed or shameful plug out of the way, let's talk Invincible season friggin' 4. There will be spoilers because I feel like normally I'm like, oh my god, we shouldn't talk about spoilers. But this time, bruh, I feel like in order to truly understand the magnitude of this season, you got to go full spoilers. You got to pull that milk out the back of the fridge, open it up, sniff it, and go, woo! And then pour it out in the sink, and it's like all chunks. This episode will be rather chunky. It's going to be a rather chunky episode. So, you know, holla at me later episode. So, jumping into it, I'll tell you guys, I did not anticipate this season at all. I think my sentiment was a lot like Joe's, which was meh. I don't care. But there wasn't nothing else to do. I don't know why, but I feel like I was just like, oh, watch this. There's nothing else to watch. So it did. And so the anticipation was not there. And, we'll talk about what actually happened. So, Alfonso, the X-Man, the Flores, I know you're always excited about everything, but what was your level of excitement going into this?
Well, first of all, like and subscribe for more. Of course, my level of anticipation was high. We're fresh off season 3. Well, not really fresh. I mean, it's been a while, but season 3, Mark destroyed what's his name, Conquest, and if you stayed a little bit past the credits, you'll see that Conquest was, he was kept by the government, and he was locked up, and everybody thought, it's good to have him, locked up, but as you know, it's not going to be good. So knowing that, expecting like he's coming back somewhere or another, I mean, I couldn't wait. I was on the edge of my seat,
And how about you, Joe? Well, okay, Joe, let us know.
Yeah, that's not my thing. That's not my thing, baby.
Yeah, Joe didn't care, and I understand why. Because Joe, did you drop off in season 2 or season 3?
I watched the first season and then maybe episode 1 of season 2, and then
Okay.
I
Just didn't do it for you.
No.
And I can completely understand why. So we're gonna get into season 4. I feel like almost everybody I know, kind of to Joe's point, they were, hey, Invincible's coming out, and I was like, I don't care. I didn't like season 3. Season 3 seemed pointless, so I can understand how a lot of people didn't watch it, but you kind of missed out. So let's jump into it. Alfonso, what overall, I feel like this season was okay. Here's what I had a problem with this season: relationships. Too many relationship issues. Okay, number one, Debbie, the mom. okay, dating, I don't know what his name was. I mean, I don't even know your name, bro. And
That
you
guy.
have more screen time. What was his name?
That guy.
That guy. Okay. So she was dating old boy, and it was like, I don't want you with that dude. So that was one relationship, right? And then Mark had a relationship going with Adam,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of drama there. I'll let you get into it if you want, Alfonso. I feel like at the end of the episode, she matured into a character that I would follow. Um, but yeah, I didn't care about that. And then there was Oliver. He was whiny. Well, you're no whiny teenager, especially not when he has superpowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got nothing to whine about, bro. You can fly to school. If you can fly to school, you ain't got nothing to whine about. So that's what I did not like about season 4. And then once they transitioned into more story, Mark, I did not like Mark going to. Am I allowed to say HE double hockey sticks on YouTube?
I give you permission.
Okay. So Mark went to hell. I didn't care. I thought the whole storyline was dumb, but I feel like it's setting up a new storyline for season 5, which is desperately needed because people are like, we're tired of the Viltrumites. So, okay. I mean, it's not like you can get rid of a race full of Kryptonians. You know what I'm saying? But I digress and I ramble. I like parts. I could have taken away all the interaction with the emotions and stuff and just gone straight battle royale. What say you, Alfonso X-Man Flores from Viltrum?
Yeah. One thing I found out in my researches is that the whole, Mark goes to hell segue, it was strictly for the show. That wasn't in the books at all. So I think they were trying to like, hey, let's give the audience something they never had. And of course, it was the lowest rated episode. I mean, you know, when you're dealing with when you've got the war with the Viltrumites, I mean, you've got all this anxious anticipation, and it's like we don't got time to go take a sideline trip to hell. We don't need that right now. We got to be in the story. Yeah, character development. I mean, they tried to go with it quite a bit. You got the redemption of Omni Man. You've got the ascension of Alan the alien to leader guy. You've got what's his name? The little brother Omni Lad. What? Oh my gosh,
Oliver.
Oliver. Oliver. Oliver he just wanted to know his dad, man. And it's like, I get that. I get that. He just wanted to know his dad. And he just wanted to have a catch. But he was mad. He was too mad, and you couldn't break that wall down. And little by little they did. So that was kind of nice to see. It was heartwarming. There are a lot of people out here in America that come from single parent homes, and all they want to do is know the other parent. So I get it. It was, they spent a lot of time on that when there was a ridiculous war going on. So, they got to know each other. You've got there were the scenes with Omni Man, like, hey, I'm going to help you with the Viltrums. We need to go to these different planets. We need to find these different things because this will help you guys fight this war. And apparently, at first, he didn't want to fight. But the little things that they come up with, and the people that they find to help, and then on top of it, it's like, wow, you can rip the guts out of a Viltrumite, and that's not going to kill them. They could come back from that. That's pretty impressive. So the rematch with Conquest, I mean, this is like round 3. Why is it round 3? Because round 2 was the first time they fought. Round 1 was in The Walking Dead when you had Negan just bust open Glenn's head, because those are the same voice actors. So he's got a mean on for him, man. That's all I can say about that. He's just he wants to take Glenn down, or Invincible. Adam Eve. I'm curious as how she was able to do what she did with the baby. When you have a half Viltrumite baby, I mean, you wouldn't think that would be within the human realm of doing, but I guess as an unborn fetus, it's a little more.
Do you want to go into the theories you've seen online, Alfonso? Because I find them absolutely fascinating.
Really, I haven't. What have you heard about that?
So the guy with the messed up face, whose name I can't remember, that basically runs the covert operation and runs all the heroes.
Yeah.
So she had to go to him to get the abortion. So
Gotcha.
the fetus didn't die, etc., etc. You have the
Gotcha.
DNA of the most OP human on the planet because she can change her molecular structure, and a
Oh yeah.
Viltrumite. So that opens up all sorts of opportunities where this baby is still alive.
Mhm.
He has control of the baby. You go from there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused. Are we talking about Invincible or the boys?
Invincibles.
Because it sounds like the same plot.
I don't know, Alfonso. You're gonna have to jump in. You watch The Boys too, right, bro?
Yes,
Alfonso?
sir. So I
Okay.
mean the thing about it is if you've got this OP being, and nobody on earth can really touch him, how do you stop him? Well, you take his child and you nurture him and you pit him against his father when he's ready. But I mean, yeah, it's like
Isn't that the boys?
it is the boys,
Well,
but
see,
they don't have kryptonite.
here's the thing, Joe. At this point, it's just a theory
Oh,
because
That's
Eve
true.
did.
Flush.
I gotta say that, Alfonso.
Oh yeah, don't say that.
I'm not trying to get canceled. She was with child. Now she's no longer with child. I'll say that. And basically, so the theory is like, okay, if you have this superpowered being, how do you get the being so it's no longer in the body of another superpowered being? Tap dancing around the A word. Um, so it's just a theory. Like, how was she able to do that? Because you can't go to Planned Parenthood or the clinic down the street. So you have to go to this dude. And that's what people are saying, but it's just a theory at this point.
a theory or just lazy writing, bro? See, this is what I can't get with that show. You guys are talking about it. You know what I hear, bro? They have a pile of like dirty laundry in the corner, another pile of dirty laundry over here, got some cups for food that you have over here, and you're trying to pick up one from over here. Let me go over this, pick up this over here. And you have all those sections that even though you're trying to clean it up, it's really not clean, and you still have some stuff hanging like a dingleberry. That's what it sounds like.
But life is messy, man. I mean, nothing's ever going to go the way, and there's always a fire building in the back. So, I mean,
You know, I'm going to use that response for everything in life now, Alfonso. That's pretty awesome. Like when people say, they're like, well, life is messy and there could be a fire under my ass right now. I don't know.
the world's in a perfect place. Screws fall out all the time.
If someone says something, I'm just going to say, like, do you know how much I paid for gas this morning?
Bro,
Yeah,
and then like
they're
they
just trying
get
to build.
hit, but they get hit, right? And they get bloody and their face looks all jacked up, and then all of a sudden they're fine again.
Oh,
It's
it
like,
takes time, though. Like, it's a accelerated healing process. And Alfonso, correct me, tell me when I'm telling lies, Alfonso, which was the best phrase that nobody that hating gets a chance to use. But anyway, it's just a slow healing process, right? Because it took months for Mark to recover, right?
Yeah, when we start off with this season, I mean, like Mark is still reeling from the pains of last season when he fought Conquest. He's got one of Robot's legs covering his leg, one of Robot's hands covering his hand. So he's like almost like in a cast, but he's it's useful. So that's all covering him up to heal, while he's healing, and he doesn't realize it until some big baddie knocks it off him, and he's like, "Oh hey, I'm good. Let's take the rest of this off. Let's get going." So, I mean, this season, I mean, it had so much, and I mean, just the war. I mean, you find out that there's really only 50 Viltrumites left, pure Viltrumites, because there was one who was the great traitor, and he set off this virus that killed all the Viltrumites. We even had a really cool flashback when Omni-Man was a boy, and he was probably like a teenager, helping train the new kids. And as that was
Omni-Teen.
happening, yeah, exactly. And as that was happening, it was like his father was in charge and his mother was there in charge too. And something happened to where he felt bad about somebody not making it, and the mom went off, man. She's the one that has that long ponytail with a knife at the end of it that she's smacking everybody with. And like, I don't think we found out before that was his mom. So that's Mark's grandmother, but she has no remorse whatsoever. And she's a baddie. So we got to see that happen. We got to see how that unfolded, and after that, like you kind of start to understand how Omni-Man, even though following orders, he does have some remorse. So it allowed for some character development because, like, the whole thing is everybody's pissed off because everybody just forgave him. But it's like when you're dealing with this otherworldly threat that's just far superior in power, I mean, you need somebody like Omni-Man. So you kind of gotta like, okay, you suck, but we need you, so let's make up.
3 things. That doesn't work if you use that analogy towards politics, because that just doesn't work. 2, you know what? AEW fans should be disrespected by you, Alan, because you quoted the great CM Punk who's in WWE. Tell me if I'm telling any lies. That's CM Punk. Third one.
That's why I said it was.
Okay.
It was a great phrase, bro. And he used it in AEW like for one episode, and then he went over to the Great Empire.
Yeah. And then the Virtual Might, isn't that just Dragon Ball, bro?
No,
I'm not familiar.
Didn't they send them the planets to be friendly and take over the planet and conquer them? Ain't that what Vegemite do?
Yeah,
but the Dragon Ball, they don't. They're not friendly. They just go over there to conquer.
Right.
I know, but that's the whole story. They send Saiyans to planets to conquer.
I mean, the difference too is the reason why he's friendly
Same thing.
is because there's so few Viltrumites that he has to mate with the population to find out if that's going to work, and it's going to help grow the Viltrumite army.
It's similar in that both are sent to conquer another planet. The difference is the Viltrumites have a goal of increasing their population and infiltrating, whereas my understanding of Saiyans, they were simply sent there to wreak havoc and destroy everything the moment they landed.
Plain hamburger, cheeseburger.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way, people can enjoy burgers. I mean, I personally like burgers with no buns. And then there are other people who are savages who enjoy bread in their life. But either way, we both loving the burgers, bro.
I mean, I like big buns, and I can't deny.
Oh, okay now.
We would have liked Adam Eve after he came back.
Oh, dude, Adam Eve is my new favorite character. Let me tell you.
Yo, she loaded up.
Which, okay, here's my thing, bro. I don't understand. You control molecules, right? So you're making a conscious choice. Like, I may have gained a little weight, but you control your molecular structure, girl. If you want to be thick, girl, get down with the thickness, okay? But you control your molecular structure, therefore you don't have to. You could wake up one day and say, I want to be a sister. She could do that. You know what I'm saying? She could be like, I want to be Chinese today. She could do that. So she got thick. That's a choice, okay? And it's a good choice, okay? Okay, she's taking up for Melissa McCarthy's mistakes. I'm down. Good job, girl.
She took the opposite of Ozempic. She took P-Zempic. No, I don't know. So stupid. But yeah, it's in the research that I did find out too that because of her ability to manipulate her molecular structure and molecular structure around her, she is and she doesn't die. She will not die. She doesn't have to age. Actually, I think what it is, like, her body stays with what it's doing. Like, she will age, and then when she dies, she's just reformed back at whatever she is, like 28. So, like, her and Mark get to be together forever. Just sometimes she's a little old, sometimes she's a little fat. It's just the way it is. PHAT. Pretty hot and tempting.
Joe, you got anything? Because you make me say
no,
it.
Did she get big because she wanted to? Like, I'm confused. I'm trying to look for pictures. I don't see any pictures. I'm
okay.
Like, what's the
so was it okay, Alfonso? That's a really good question. Pregnant? Was it because she was pregnant, or was it because like she just decided like she wanted to eat? I mean, which by all means, if there's one person on the planet that has no complaints about thick Eve or Adam Eve, it's your boy. But anyway, I don't know, bro. It's either because she was with child, or it's because, according to her, what she told Mark initially was she's just been really stressed, hasn't been, able to do her thing, stop fighting, so she gained a little weight.
Yeah. That's what it was. I mean, like, if she was going to terminate the pregnancy, like, like they said she did, it would have had to been in an early stage, because especially with the Viltrumite, the older it gets, the stronger it's going to get. So it had to be terminated like pretty much after he left, because the thing was
Terminated.
Why didn't they want to have the kid, or why didn't she want to have the kid?
Excellent question, Joe. Because Mark was off in space. Well, there's like the reason she gave, but sometimes your girl gives a reason, and then like 6 months later, she tells you, what really happened? And you're like, I knew that the whole time. But anyway, basically she told Mark, because he was off in space for like a year, that she didn't think she could raise the child by herself. And so because of that, she terminated the pregnancy. That's what she told Mark.
Yeah, and
Because
the other thing is
she
too,
didn't have a job, or her powers couldn't get her money.
No. It was a matter of like emotionally.
Yeah.
They have plenty of money. Mom was sitting, dude, everybody, because I saw a meme on it. Mom basically said, Debbie, okay, shout out to Debbie. She said, I'm going to go into space. Don't know when I'm coming back, so I'm going to set my bills on auto pay. I was like, what? That's a superpower in itself, bro. Because I'm comfortable, but I can't just set my bills on auto pay and say, and I never know when I'm going to come back. So she got that Omni-Man money somewhere.
Yeah, so the whole thing.
You can be a superhero and fight and save lives and probably die in the process, and you can't raise a kid.
Look, bro, like I said, sometimes your girl tells you something, and then like later on she comes back and she's like, well, let me tell you what I really meant, or let me tell you what really happened, right? So she told my man that, but season 5 she might be like, yeah, here's what really happened.
We did allude to the fact that Mark left, but we didn't really explain it. Mark was taken by Ellen and Omni-Man to go fight the Viltrumite War. They were taking the fight to them, and then they were going to be in space for a long time. And Mark didn't actually know that she was pregnant. She found out before he left, but she didn't want to tell him because she didn't want it to affect his decision on going. And when he got back, he's like, what's up with that? And she's like, well, I was pregnant and not anymore. And so it was a huge thing, but I mean, it was so funny because like with him going away into space, traveling light speed, millions of whatever away, all I could think about was time dilation. And I'm like, you guys, I don't know. I'm not going to go into time dilation, but I've read a lot about it. I've heard a lot about it in movies, TV shows, comics, everything. And I'm like, yeah, he shouldn't be back at like an hour later, a year later. He should be back years and years. But regardless, so yeah, they went off and they fought in this universal war. And like again, 50 Viltrumites. I think they weeded them down to 40, and they couldn't beat them all, especially with Grand Emperor Thrag. Thrag was just whooping him down. It's funny too, because like you've got all these Viltrumites that punch and knock each other around, but then they got this move where they go and they just chop right through the people, and they just get decimated. I'm like, why aren't they doing this chop thing all the time? Why are they throwing punches? They just right through them. And what do you think about that too? Because that's a kill shot.
That was often as I'm watching something, if I'm invested in the plot and the characters, I'll see something. It registers as being hard to believe. It pulls me away, and then I go, and I move on. And that was a problem because the Viltrumite fights were very whatever was necessary for the plot to move forward. To your point, like, oh, we're fighting and we're duking it out, and now all of a sudden you give us the judo chop, and now you're unalived. You're no longer with us. Okay, but y'all been fighting here for 20 minutes. Do the Viltrumites just have like this weak spot, and that's the spot? No, because they do it on different spots of the body. That was a problem. But the Rad Racer or whatever, his weapon, yeah, that was cool. I mean, his weapon, basically, Joe, he had this weapon where he fired his laser and it went through everything forever. So like if I fired my laser and it went through my monitor and through my wall and through my kitchen, it would never stop going, and it goes through everything. I liked his power, and it became a very important part of the plot, which I did not understand. Alfonso, explain the hell. What What happened, Alfonso? HL double hockey sticks. What happened?
So they realized that they couldn't beat Thrag. No matter how much they hit him, he just sit there and he ate it. He tore Oliver apart. He tore Omni Man apart, and it's like, well, no, that was later. He didn't tear Omni Man apart till later, but so they're like, we got to do something. We got to hit him where it hurts. So Omni Man and Mark, they grab this Rad Racer, whatever. I forget what he's called, but yeah, something like that, like Space Racer. Space Racer, is that it? And they're like, okay. They just start flying towards the planet, and planet Viltrum, and he shoots his laser right through the center of the earth to create an opening, and they all just fly right through it and completely destroy the planet. So it's like, we got you home. What you gonna do now? But it still doesn't stop them. I mean, you can't stop Thrag, and like all the other Viltrumites, yeah, some of them died. They killed a lot of them. You have these other Viltrumites circling the entire planet like dead bodies floating around. Imagine if that one dude, Cecil, got a hold of them and made them into those undead monster things that when he was, I digress. But yeah, so they completely destroyed the planet, and then boom, Viltrumites disappeared. And they're like, oh man, where are they?
Okay, so Alfonso.
Yes.
So here's where my science. First of all, Alfonso, don't use no X-Men time travel science, bruh. Okay, because there is no worse time travel science on the planet than X-Men time travel, and you're up here trying to science us like using X-Men's time travel. Come on, dude, stop. X-Men
Yeah,
science.
dude. X-Men timetables got Betsy going from English to Japanese, bro. Actually, that's her time thing, dude.
Dude, I love you for loving X-Men, bro, but if you're trying to look at science, that's not the way to go, bro. And there is no franchise that disrespects time travel more than the X-Men. It's how they fix everything.
I agree.
Every time. Okay, so here's my question. They destroyed the planet. Why did Mark, Omni-Man, and Optimus Prime have to fly through the center of the planet? I didn't understand that.
They had to break it open like an egg, man. You can't just, if they went off to the side, it's not going to break. It's just going to crack. So they wanted that planet gone. So they just went through all the way straight through to the core, all the way through the other side, and they just blew it apart. It was like the exhaust port in the Death Star. It's the weak point, very center.
But the gun had already gone through the entire planet. They were just following along, basically.
Right. Well, the gun created a little hole, a chink in the armor. So they had to go through to like make it bigger.
No, because the debris was falling on them. They were running into debris, which implied it was already breaking.
Yeah, they had to be sure. They couldn't do anything halfway, man. They had to be sure.
Bro.
Laser,
why don't they have a bigger laser? Why?
The laser is just one size, bro.
But it's like if you can put that tiny hole through the entire world, it ain't gonna really do much. So they had to get in there and just open it up. It's like being born again.
You know what, dude? I could relate to that. I've done that before.
Yes.
Hey, sometimes that's a good point. Sometimes you got to go through that debris just to find out what you you just got to do it, man.
Well, Alfonso wins again. Yeah, with a co-signed by Joe. So we're kind of rounding the corner on this one. So I'll say this: a lot happened in this season. If I were recommending it to someone like Joe who wanted to skip it, I would probably watch the last 4 episodes because Debbie's romantic love interest, I don't care. The pregnancy may have implications later, but for now, I don't care. Oliver being he wanted to see his dad. I get it, and I think Oliver's a cool kid, actually. Like, I really like him as a character. And they use it to set up stuff later, so that's good. That made sense. The whole thing where HE double hockey sticks, I did not realize that that was the lowest rated episode or the lowest watched episode. And I understand because I was like, filler. But it did set up something that could be cool later. Here's what I'll say as I ramble towards the end of this episode. Watch the last 4 episodes. They were awesome. I enjoyed it. Adam Eve became like, girl, I'm getting your statue. Okay. So it was a great. The last half was good. I enjoyed the dynamic between Omni-Man and Oliver. I enjoyed the dynamic between Mark, Oliver, and Omni-Man. My boy Alan had his come up, had on them silky robes, had him a girl, which he may have had anyway. I don't know. But dude, last 4 episodes, good. First 4, 5, I don't know, whatever number it is, pass. So I would say I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy having to sit through the first half. What say you, Joe? Because we got to ask Alfonso last because he actually watched it.
If you want to watch it, watch it. For me, it's like I don't like pineapple on pizza, but some people do. So I can respect someone that likes pizza with pineapple. That's just not my thing. But hey, if you like pineapple pizza, why not try it?
Alfonso, bring us home.
Let me sum this up really quick, Joe. So after the planet was destroyed, they couldn't find the Viltrumites throughout the entire galaxy. People were looking for them everywhere. Mark's like, you know what? They're on Earth. They're on Earth. They went back home, looked all over Earth, could not find them. Mark had some PTSD, kept seeing everybody killed, kept saying cities destroyed, and he'd wake up and it's like, oh, that's not happening. So it's like just as soon as he starts feeling comfortable again, Thrag shows up and he's like, we're on your planet. You'll never find us. We're going to assimilate. We're going to be there. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to intervene with anything. We're not going to try to take over anything. We're just going to breed. And Mark like full on just starts punching him. He didn't move him one bit. And then finally Mark's like, fine. And he just turns around and flies off. So all of the Viltrumites that are left are now on Earth. They're somewhere and they're making babies. They're having families. They're making, oh my goodness. They're trying to, bring back the Viltrumite Empire. And there's really nothing anybody can do about it. Because they can't stop them.
And that is going to lead into an awesome season 5. And this concludes this episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, knights of the Nerd World Order, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds redefined. Booyah!